Things that stress me out. There's New York City traffic, people who chew too loudly, cats that get too close to me. I really don't like when cats get too close to me. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Lay, and I'm a cardiologist. In this video, we're gonna talk about how stress can affect your heart health in the long run. So what is fight or flight? Stress triggers your fight or flight response to fight the stressor or run away from it. The response will push you through these stressful moments, and it's not actually a bad thing. The brain floods the body with hormones. Adrenaline is one of your stress hormones, and there's just this rush of adrenaline anytime that there's stress in your body. If you're experiencing stress, this adrenaline can kick it up, and you're gonna feel an increased heart rate, increased breathing rate, and that's what makes you feel the way you do during stress. Cortisol is one of your main stress hormones. It limits the functions that are not actually essential in life-threatening situations. These are like your immune system, your reproductive system, your growth hormones. It kind of slows all of that down in these stressful situations. And cortisol actually affects the parts of your brain that control fear, motivation, and mood. After your stress response, your body should relax, leaving no negative effects. However, constant stress can have negative effects on your body, especially on your heart. It's okay to be stressed in certain situations, like little spikes of stress here and there throughout your day. But if you're constantly anxious and in a stressful state for like a long period of time, that can have really bad effects on your heart in the long run. So there's acute stress and then there's chronic stress. Acute stress are just like little events that your body can recover from like pretty immediately. Chronic stress are just stressors that are constant, they are prolonged, and they just cause stress on your body for a long period of time. These can be like natural disasters or chronic illness or being a victim of a crime or something that causes a lot of trauma on your body for a long period of time. So being in a stressful situation can actually raise your blood pressure. All this rush of adrenaline kicks up your blood pressure. So you can think of it this way, like you can have a high blood pressure in stressful situations, but say you're in these stressful situations constantly, that'll just keep your blood pressure prolonged for a longer period of time, and that's actually bad for your heart. It's okay to be stressed here and there, but if you're in a prolonged stressful state, that'll have deleterious effects on your heart in the long run. Having more stress in your life can increase your risk of having a heart attack or stroke. And there is such thing as stress-induced cardiomyopathy. A cardiomyopathy is any time you have a heart condition where it doesn't work as well as it should. A huge influx of stress and adrenaline and catecholamines can make your heart function go really, really low. So your heart doesn't pump as well as it should after this surge of stress on your heart. These people can feel short of breath, they can have chest pains, and then they go to the hospital and it actually looks like a heart attack, but it's due to all this stress on your heart. Stress-induced cardiomyopathy is not that common, but it's actually more common than we think it is. So it's something just to keep in mind whenever you have stress in your life. Oftentimes we're told to watch our blood pressure, our sugars, our cholesterol, don't smoke, like those are the things that are gonna affect your heart. But don't underplay how much stress or these big, stressful, emotional situations, don't underplay how much that can actually affect your heart too, because that can also trigger heart problems. If you have a lot of stress in your life, it's actually important to have coping mechanisms. How do you cope with your stress? That's something we're gonna talk about in a little bit. If you want more ways to build healthy heart habits, click on the link below and subscribe to the Healthline newsletter. Stress can also affect your heart in indirect ways. If you're stressed, you're not gonna sleep well. You're gonna stay up later, you're gonna be stressing out, thinking about different things, and that lack of sleep can also affect your heart. Stress can also impact your appetite. So when people are in stressful situations, they tend to eat more and they tend to turn to their comfort foods. These comfort foods can have a higher content of salt, sugar, and fat, which is not necessarily good for the heart. Everyone has stress in their life, and that's just the reality of it. And there are different types of stress. Everyone feels something different. At the same time, the state of the world needs a massive change in order for the majority of people to feel safe and relaxed. I think that's the reality of it. Understand what is within your realm of control and what is completely out of your control. The way that people deal with stress is completely different. The way that I deal with my stress is different than the way you deal with your stress. It's important to realize that different populations of people can experience different types of stress that other populations don't feel. People of color experience systemic racism and microaggressions that increase their stress level on a daily basis. And this stress can lead to an increased response on their heart. So it's important to understand how you have coping mechanisms for these different types of stress. Here are a few strategies that we can use to help reduce our level of stress. Try to deal with one stressor at a time. When possible, give yourself a little bit of time to recover from one stressor before tackling the next. Just think about it this way. Play one game of pickleball at a time instead of playing 3 games all at the same time. Focus on one before moving on to the next. We can't always deal with one stressor before dealing with the next. I think we can understand that. But here are a couple more tips. It's important to build and nurture your supportive spaces as early as possible. Supportive spaces are where to be, who your support system is. Make sure that you have these groups and support systems wherever you go. Therapy groups and friend circles and journaling practices are all examples of that. If you have these supportive spaces set up early on, when you face a stressful situation, you'll have someone to lean on or some place to turn to. I have a very supportive friend group. It's just a couple of us scattered all about, but we try to keep in touch with each other every week. Sometimes one person will kind of stray off and not keep in touch. It's our job to wrangle them in just to make sure that everyone's on the same page and that everyone's doing well so that we all have each other in times of need. And next, this is my favorite stress relief strategy. It takes a little bit of practice, but it works really well, and that's creating boundaries. Sometimes we feel like we're not in control of our stressors. The stressors are everywhere and you cannot block them out. Remember that some of these stressors can be blocked out, and it's important to create boundaries, blocking out the stressors that bother you the most. So if you don't like what you're hearing on the news and there's a lot of bad news and there's a lot of doom and gloom, turn off the news for the weekend. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to know what's going on. If you have a messy roommate who creates a huge mess in the living room, remember that you're still in control of your bedroom. Clean up your bedroom, make yourself feel good, and have that safe space. If you are a doom scroller and you're just on your phone looking at all this stuff all day that's just stressful for you, have no phone time. Turn off your phone, silence it, put it in your cabinet, and don't look at it for the rest of the evening. If people are bothering you at work after you leave at 5 p.m., don't answer. You don't have to answer sometimes, and that's okay. Create those boundaries to reduce your levels of stress. So next, we have some stress relief activities that you can do in times of stress. Exercise is so important. It reduces your stress levels. It burns off all of that anxiety for you, and it reduces your cortisol levels at baseline. It's important to find what kind of exercise is best for you. Some people go swimming, running, they play sports. Sometimes exercise just means going for a walk, going outside, doing something that makes you feel good, and that can reduce your stress levels. Reducing your stress levels can keep your heart healthy. Keep a healthy diet. If you put good fuel into your body, you'll reduce your level of stress and you'll feel good. There's meditation and mindfulness. Keeping that peaceful, centered feeling is very important to reducing your stress. You don't have to go out and do something. You can actually be in your own home. Try deep breathing exercises. You can try box breathing right now. Spend time with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Going back to the people who support you, who are there for you, can reduce your levels of stress. If you have any hobbies like reading or listening to music, making music, karaoke, creative outlets, knitting, any of those things can reduce your level of stress too. Try to cultivate your community. Who do you live by? Who do you interact with? Who are the people who bring good positivity, good energy to you in your life? Be with them. And if they're not close to you, try to start a group chat talk in that group chat. Share what's going on in your life. Laugh about it, cry about it. That'll help you reduce your stress too. Seek out things that make you laugh. Watch something funny. Be with the people who make you laugh. That can make you feel a lot better afterwards. Everybody has stress in their lives, and sometimes it feels impossible to eliminate it. You can't avoid it sometimes. Remember, it's not about eliminating your stress, it's about using coping mechanisms to mitigate its effects on your body. If you learned something today from this video, like and subscribe to Healthline for more tips on heart health and beyond. Take care of yourself. We'll see you next time.